Lisa Holt never expected to inherit anything from her eccentric Uncle Frank, let alone a dusty warehouse on the outskirts of Albuquerque, New Mexico. But there she stood, key in hand, wondering what kind of junk awaited her inside. The massive metal door groaned as she pushed it open, revealing a cavernous space filled with tarps and strange equipment. The air smelled of oil, and something else, something alien. Lisa stepped inside, her boots echoing on the concrete floor. A shape stood in the center, covered by a massive tarp. Curiosity got the best of her, and she yanked it away, revealing what looked like a small spacecraft. This has to be a joke. She thought her uncle was known for elaborate pranks, but this seemed excessive. The craft was sleek, with an iridescent hull that shifted colors in the dim light. Something moved in the shadows. Lisa froze. "Hello," she called out, her voice steady. Despite her racing heart, a mechanical whir responded as a humanoid shape emerged from behind the craft. It stood about 5 feet tall with dented metal plating and glowing blue eyes. "Greetings, human," said the robot in a feminine voice. "My designation is Maintenance Unit ZX4, but you may call me Zoe. I have been waiting for the heir to arrive." Lisa blinked, uncertain if she was hallucinating. This had to be some elaborate hoax. Maybe her uncle hired an actress in a costume. Is this some kind of joke, she asked. Negative, responded Zoe. "Your relative Franklin Holt salvaged me in the vessel 17 years ago. He promised to help me return to my people, but his biological functions ceased before we could complete our mission." Lisa circled the robot, studying its construction. This was far beyond any technology she had ever seen. The movements were too fluid, the voice too natural. "Prove it," Lisa challenged. "Show me something a robot from Earth couldn't do." Zoe tilted her head, then raised a metallic palm. A holographic display materialized above it, showing star charts and symbols Lisa didn't recognize. "This is the Andromeda Galaxy, specifically the Valari system where my creators reside," Zoe explained. "We were on a scientific expedition studying humanity when our ship was damaged by an asteroid belt. Our captain and crew entered emergency stasis, and I was sent to find help." The robot gestured to the spacecraft. "Your uncle found me wandering the desert. He promised to repair our ship, but now that task falls to you." Lisa laughed. "This is insane. Why me?" "I'm a librarian, not an engineer. Because the ship has bonded with your genetic signature," Zoe said simply. "It will respond only to you now." Lisa approached the craft, touching its cool surface. To her amazement, it hummed under her fingertips and lights flickered to life along its hull inside. Zoe continued, 6 female Valari scientists remain in stasis. They will die if we cannot repair the ship and return them home." Lisa withdrew her hand, feeling suddenly overwhelmed. What are these Valari like? Zoe projected another hologram showing tall, elegant humanoid figures with silvery skin and large almond-shaped eyes. They possess advanced knowledge and peaceful intentions. Their technology could benefit humanity greatly, but they follow strict, non-interference protocols. Curious despite her skepticism, Lisa asked, "Why tell me this? Why not just go to the government? Your species' governments would likely dissect both the Valari and myself for research," Zoe explained. "Your uncle understood this. He believed one trustworthy human was safer than involving authorities." Lisa paced the warehouse, torn between disbelief and wonder. Every science fiction story warned against this exact scenario. But if it was real, if aliens actually needed her help, what exactly would I need to do? She finally asked. Zoe seemed to brighten. "We require specific minerals to repair the propulsion system. Your uncle collected most components, but the final element, illudium, is rare on Earth." Lisa raised an eyebrow. "Illudium? Seriously? That sounds made up." The robot tilted her head. "Your skepticism is understandable. However, the material exists primarily in meteor fragments. There is a known deposit in White Sands approximately 3 hours from here." Lisa rubbed her temples. This was madness. And yet, something about Zoe's earnest demeanor made her want to believe. "Why should I trust you?" she asked. The robot was silent for a moment, then softly Zoe said, Because, like humans, the Volari value life, liberty, and knowledge. They are peaceful explorers, not conquerors. If they die, humanity loses potential friends and allies. And because your uncle believed in their mission enough to devote his final years to helping us. Lisa stared at the spacecraft, thinking of her Uncle Frank had always been kind, if eccentric. He believed in helping others and had taught her to do the same. She approached the ship again, placing her palm against it. The metal warmed beneath her touch and a panel slid open, revealing a cockpit fine. She said, "I must be crazy, but I'll help you get your illudium, but first I want to see these aliens you're trying to save." Zoe hesitated, then nodded. "Follow me, please." The robot led her into the ship through narrow corridors that seemed to adjust their size as Lisa walked through them. They reached a chamber where 6 transparent pods glowed with soft blue light. Inside, each was a figure tall, graceful, with silvery skin, just as the hologram had shown. They looked so peaceful. Lisa whispered, "They dream of home." Zoe said, "They are scientists, teachers, and mothers. Their knowledge could help cure diseases, advance your technology, and connect humanity to the galactic community. But only if they survive." Lisa studied their faces, so alien, yet somehow familiar in their serenity. One of them, a Volari with intricate markings along her temples, stirred slightly in her sleep, as if sensing Lisa's presence in that moment. Lisa made her decision. These were living beings far from home. They needed help, and for whatever reason, the universe had chosen her to provide it. Her uncle had believed in this mission, and now she would too, eh, Bri? Next day found Lisa and Zoe driving her beaten pickup truck toward White Sands. The robot sat awkwardly in the passenger seat, watching the desert landscape roll by. So Lisa said, breaking the silence, "Tell me about your world. What are the Volari like when they're not in stasis pods?" Zoe turned toward her. "Our society values knowledge above all. We have no concept of war, though we understand self-defense. Our females lead our scientific endeavors, while males typically manage domestic affairs." Lisa laughed. "The opposite of Earth's old systems." "Indeed," Zoe replied. "The Volari would find many human customs puzzling, particularly your tendency toward conflict, but they admire human creativity and resilience qualities our species sometimes lacks." The conversation continued as miles passed Lisa, learning about a civilization light years beyond her own. A civilization that might soon be in her debt. When they reached the coordinates, Lisa followed Zoe's directions to a remote area where a small crater marked the landscape. The robot produced a scanning device, sweeping it over the ground. "Here," Zoe announced, pointing to a spot near the center. "The illudium signature is strong." Lisa grabbed a shovel from her truck and began digging. The desert sun beat down mercilessly, but determination kept her going. After 20 minutes, her shovel struck something solid. Carefully, she excavated around the object, revealing a metallic rock about the size of a softball. It glowed with an inner purple light, unlike anything she'd ever seen. "Is this it?" she asked. "Yes," Zoe confirmed. "This will be sufficient to repair the propulsion system. We can now return the Volari to their home." As Lisa reached for the meteor, her hand brushed against it. A jolt of energy surged through her body, and she gasped, images flooding her mind. Stars, galaxies, civilizations, knowledge vast and incomprehensible. She stumbled back, dropping the rock. Zoe caught her, steadying her with surprising gentleness. "What just happened?" Lisa demanded. "The illudium responded to your genetic signature," Zoe explained. "It contains properties that temporarily connect consciousness across space." For a moment, you glimpsed what the Volari know. Lisa stared at the glowing rock. "This changes everything," she whispered as they drove back toward Albuquerque with their precious cargo. Lisa noticed dark clouds gathering on the horizon. A storm was moving in fast, unusual for this time of year. "I don't like this," Zoe said, her blue eyes dimming slightly. "The atmospheric disturbance appears unnatural." Lisa glanced at the robot. "What do you mean unnatural?" Before Zoe could answer, a blinding light flashed across the sky. A shockwave rocked the truck, sending it skidding off the road. Lisa fought the wheel, but they slid into a ditch, the vehicle tilting precariously. "Are you damaged?" Zoe asked immediately. "I'm fine," Lisa replied, checking herself for injuries. "What was that?" The robot was looking at the sky. "We have company," she said simply. Lisa followed her gaze and her mouth fell open. Above them, hovering silently, was a massive black vessel unlike anything she had ever seen. Its design was angular, predatory, with red lights pulsing along its hull. "Who are they?" Lisa whispered. "Hunters," Zoe replied, her voice suddenly flat. "The Krell. They are a species that collects rare biological specimens. They must have detected the Valari life signs when you activated the ship." "They hunt the Valari?" Lisa asked, horrified. "Not just Valari." Zoe explained. "Any species they find interesting. They consider themselves collectors of the universes. Biological diversity. The Krell have been banned from civilized systems, but they operate in fringe regions like your solar system." A beam of red light shot from the ship, scanning the ground around them. "We must return to the warehouse immediately," Zoe said. "The Valari must be awakened. They can help us." Lisa climbed out of the ditch and tried to start her truck. The engine sputtered, then died. The pulse must have fried something in the electrical system. "We have to run," she said, grabbing the eludium rock and shoving it into her backpack. "Negative," Zoe responded. "That vessel can track us anywhere within a 100-mile radius. Our only option is to confront them." "Confront them," Lisa repeated incredulously. "With what?" "My shovel." The robot pointed to Lisa's backpack. "The eludium. It can disrupt their tracking systems if properly utilized." Before Lisa could ask how another pulse hit the ground near them. The dirt exploded, sending them both flying. Lisa landed hard, knocking the wind from her lungs. When she looked up, she saw 3 figures approaching. They were tall and spindly, with exoskeletons, like insects. Their heads were elongated with multiple glowing red eyes. Their chittering speech made her skin crawl. Zoe positioned herself between Lisa and the aliens. "Human," the robot said quickly. "I will distract them. You must run west toward those rocks. There is a cave system. They cannot track you underground." Lisa shook her head. "I'm not leaving you. You must protect the eludium." Zoe insisted. "The Valari cannot be saved without it." The aliens were getting closer. Lisa could see weapons in there, clawed hands. "What will they do to you?" she asked. "I am merely technology." Zoe replied. "They have no interest in me. Go now." Lisa hesitated, then squeezed the robot's shoulder, surprisingly warm beneath her palm. "He'll come back for you," she promised. Then she turned and ran. Behind her, she heard Zoe speaking in a strange clicking language, presumably addressing the Krell. She didn't look back, forcing herself to focus on the rocky outcroppings ahead. The desert terrain was treacherous, loose stones threatening to twist her ankles with every step. The backpack bounced uncomfortably against her spine, the eludium inside seeming to grow heavier. A shadow passed overhead. The Krell ship was following her. Lisa pushed herself harder, her lungs burning. The rocks were still too far. She wasn't going to make it. Then she saw it, a flash of silver in the sand, half buried by centuries of wind. A small craft similar to the one in her uncle's warehouse, but more weathered. Without hesitation, Lisa changed course, sprinting toward it. As she approached, she saw it was partially exposed, probably uncovered by the same recent storms that had revealed the eludium deposit. She reached the craft, placing her palm against its hull just as she had done with the ship in the warehouse. For a terrifying moment, nothing happened. Then slowly a panel slid open. Lisa dove inside the opening ceiling behind her. She found herself in a cockpit similar to the one she had glimpsed earlier, but smaller, meant for a single pilot. Screens lit up. Around her, showing the Krell ship hovering outside, symbols flashed across the displays in the same language she'd seen in Zoe's hologram. If this was a Valari vessel, maybe it would respond to her just as the other ship had. Lisa placed her hands on what looked like a control panel. "Please work," she whispered. The craft hummed to life. Displays brightened and Lisa felt the vessel shift rising from the sand that had buried it for who knows how long. Outside, the Krell ship was powering up weapons. Lisa had no idea how to fly this thing, but she had to try. She pressed what she hoped was a propulsion control. The small craft shot forward with shocking speed, sending her slamming back into the seat. The Krell ship fired, missing by inches. She yanked, at the controls banking hard to the right. The craft responded instantly, more to her thoughts it seemed than her physical inputs. Somehow Lisa managed to outmaneuver the larger vessel, slipping behind a mesa and then accelerating toward the direction of her uncle's warehouse. She had to get back to Zoe, to the Volari. Lisa watched in amazement as the previously peaceful scientists transformed into a coordinated team. Each took a station around the ship control panels, lighting up under their touch. "I want to help," Lisa said. "What can I do?" Lyra considered her, then gestured to a panel near the center of the room. "Your genetic signature has been integrated with our systems. You can operate our defensive shields." Lisa approached the panel, unsure how to proceed, but determined to try. The surface responded to her. Touch displaying what appeared to be shield configurations, the ship rumbled as the Krell vessel fired upon the warehouse shields. Lisa, the Volari scientist, called. Lisa pressed what she hoped was the activation sequence. The ship hummed as a transparent bubble expanded outward, protecting them from the barrage. Outside, the Krell dragged Zoe toward their ship. Lisa could see the robot struggling. Despite her damaged state, "We need to move fast," Lisa said. "They're taking her." Nara, the weapons specialist, nodded. "The disruptors are ready," she announced. "Target their propulsion system only," Lyra instructed. "We will not take life unnecessarily." The Volari ship rose from the warehouse floor, debris falling away as the roof opened above them. Lisa hadn't even noticed the retractable ceiling. Another of her uncle's modifications, it seemed. They hovered above the Krell ship, which was larger but clearly older technology. The Volari vessel hummed as weapon systems charged. Now Lyra commanded beams of brilliant white light shot from the Volari ship, striking the Krell vessel with surgical precision. The larger ship shuddered, its engines sputtering and dying. The Krell hunters chittered in alarm, some fleeing back to their disabled ship, others taking defensive positions around Zoe. "We cannot risk a direct assault," Lyra said. "We must create a diversion." Lisa studied the tactical display, an idea forming. "Let me take the scout ship," she suggested. "I can draw their attention while you extract Zoe." The Volari scientists exchanged glances. Lyra nodded. "Your plan has merit, but you are not trained in our technology." "I flew it here, didn't I?" Lisa countered. "The ship seems to respond to my thoughts." "Very well," Lyra agreed. "But take this." She handed Lisa what looked like a small silver disc. "It will disrupt their neural systems temporarily. Not harmful, but disorienting." Lisa took the device. Then, with a nod to the Volari, she raced back to the smaller scout craft she had flown earlier. It powered up immediately, responding to her presence. Taking a deep breath, Lisa launched the small ship directly at the Krell hunters. The maneuver was reckless but effective. The aliens scattered some, firing wildly at her as she swooped past. She banked hard, circling around for another. Past the main Volari ship, used this distraction to position itself above Zoe. Lisa saw her chance and tossed the silver disc Lyra had given her. It landed among the Krell hunters and erupted in a flash of blue light. The aliens staggered, disoriented. Beam from the Volari ship enveloped Zoe, lifting the damaged robot safely aboard. Lisa cheered, then banked the scout ship away from the confused hunters. She docked with the main vessel, rejoining the Volari scientists. Zoe lay on a repair platform, her systems being tended to by one of the scientists. "Her damage is significant but repairable," Lyra explained. "She will function again." The Krell ship was attempting to restart its engines. Lisa noted with concern. "We should leave while we can," she suggested. Lyra nodded in agreement. "This system is no longer safe for us. We must return to Volari space." The scientist turned to Lisa. "A decision awaits you." Human Lisa tilted her head. "What decision? Your assistance has been invaluable," Lyra said. "You have demonstrated courage, intelligence, and compassion, qualities the Volari greatly admire. We would offer you passage to our homeworld as an honored guest, the first human to make official contact with our civilization. Lisa blinked, stunned by the offer. To travel to another world to see things no human had ever seen. The opportunity was incredible, but she hesitated, glancing around at the ship and the tall, elegant aliens. What about my life here? My job? My friends? You may return whenever you wish. Lara assured. Our journey would take mere weeks with our propulsion system fully repaired, and you would return with knowledge to benefit your entire species. Lisa thought of her small apartment, her job at the library, the quiet, predictable life she had led. Then she thought of stars unexplored and civilizations unknown. Her uncle had spent his final years helping these beings. Perhaps this was his true legacy to her, an opportunity for extraordinary adventure. She looked at Zoe, now being repaired, her blue eyes flickering back to full brightness. Will Zoe be coming too? Lisa asked. Of course, Lyra said with something like a smile. The maintenance unit is part of our crew, and I believe she has grown quite attached to you. Lisa took a deep breath. Decision made, yes. She said I would be honored to visit your world. The Valari scientist seemed pleased. Lara placed her hand on a control panel, and the ship hummed with increasing power. Then let us depart, she said. As your people might say, the universe awaits as the ship rose higher, breaking through Earth's atmosphere. Lisa watched her planet grow smaller below her. The blue marble that had been her entire world, now just one point of light among countless others. Beside her, the newly repaired Zoe stood watching the stars grow brighter. Thank you, the robot said quietly. For not abandoning me. Lisa smiled, placing her hand on Zoe's metallic shoulder. That's what friends do, she replied. They come back for each other. The stars stretched into lines of light as the ship accelerated beyond anything human technology had achieved. Lisa Holt, librarian from Albuquerque, New Mexico, was leaving her world behind. But she wasn't afraid. Not anymore. She was going to see the stars. The small craft responded to her thoughts more than her hands, guiding her back toward Albuquerque at impossible speeds. The Krell ship pursued, but the Valari vessel was more agile, dodging between canyons, and Mesa's Lisa reached the warehouse in minutes, setting the craft down beside her uncle's building. The Krell ship was still minutes behind her, giving her a small window of opportunity. She rushed inside, clutching the backpack with the Illudium. Zoe was gone, presumably still with the Krell hunters who had intercepted them. Lisa headed straight for the larger Valari ship, placing her palm against the hull. The entrance opened immediately. Inside, she raced to the stasis chamber where the 6 Valari scientists slept. There had to be a way to wake them to ask for their help. Lisa examined the control panel beside the pods, running her fingers over the alien symbols. On impulse, she removed the Illudium from her backpack. The purple stone glowed brighter as she brought it near the control panel. As if responding to the proximity, a slot opened in the panel exactly the size and shape of the stone. Lisa hesitated for only a moment, then placed the Illudium into the slot. The effect was immediate. Energy surged through the ship lights, brightening and systems humming to life. The stasis pods began to glow brighter, their blue light intensifying. The first pod hissed open. Mist spilled out as the tall figure inside stirred. The Valari woman sat up slowly, her silver skin shimmering in the ship's light. Her large eyes blinked, adjusting to consciousness. She turned toward Lisa Human. The alien said, her voice melodic, yet somehow resonant with multiple tones. You have awakened. Lisa stepped forward, trying to appear confident, despite her racing heart. My name is Lisa Holt. I found your ship in my uncle's warehouse. Zoe told me about your situation. The Valari nodded gracefully. I am Lyra, chief scientist of this expedition. She glanced at the other pods, which were also beginning to open. Where is Maintenance Unit ZX4? The Krell have her, Lisa explained. They tracked us when I activated your ship. They tried to capture me, but I escaped in another Valari craft. I found in the desert. Lyra rose to her full height, nearly 7 feet tall. Her movements were fluid, almost ethereal. Another of our scout vessels, she said. Fortunate indeed. The other pods were now open, 5 more Valari emerging. Each was similar to Lara, but with subtle differences in their facial markings and the patterns that swirled across their silvery skin. They must have been tracking us for some time, one of them said. Her voice concerned. The Krell are persistent hunters. Lara moved to a control panel on the wall. The ship systems hummed as she touched. Its status displays activated, showing the vessel's condition. The Eludium integration is complete, she announced. The propulsion system is operational. We can leave, Lisa repeated. But what about Zoe? The Krell have her. The Valari exchanged glances. One of them stepped forward. I am Nara Weapons Specialist. Our priority must be escape. The maintenance unit is replaceable. No, Lisa said firmly. She saved my life. She protected me so I could bring the Eludium back. She called herself Zoe's friend. I can't abandon her. The Valari studied Lisa with curious expressions. Lara approached, placing a slender hand on Lisa's shoulder. Your loyalty honors your species, she said. I see why ZX4 trusted you. We will attempt a rescue, but the risk is considerable. Before Lisa could respond, an alarm sounded through the ship. One of the Valari rushed to a viewport. The Krell vessel has arrived, she announced, and they have ZX4. Another added, pointing to a screen showing the exterior of the warehouse. The image zoomed in, revealing Zoe being dragged from the Krell ship. Her metal body was damaged, one arm hanging loosely, and her glowing eyes flickering. Enough. Lara said, her voice suddenly commanding. We are scientists, but we are not defenseless. She turned to the weapons specialist Nara. Prepare the disruptors. To Lisa, she said, your species has a saying. I believe fight fire with fire. We rarely engage in combat, but we are prepared to defend ourselves, especially against those who violate galactic law. Like the Krell.